MDA news, always the best news in town. A dear some and a essay Kosobio. A bar NPP NDC, a memo once and some dear any what China MDA news more and an hour 20. Yet here in some are a Koso and nay and what Yamano Semimo. Now, yet to me, and Fabi and so near her be a Suswa and the body one and so ever far. In Simbi a Chabu are men person with the man of also cry. Young put here in Simimra the bar. Dear Akabia and so on. The debate was so person will comment ever twice here na ebiemu krampo no person over subscribe to your channel no na foforo so enya bi ahwe enya bi etie na other news be a phone bia no the to me at the amount when it comes to politics and governance whether NPP NDC dia India news e wo ebro e ma pa nsem bi etwagu enei e wo Ghana memo wa about politics na nkofo pi na so na eche wo adwene e wo nsem yi e ho benim se onso wa adwenkyere yetie nsem mmrasisi a de pa yake bia no yede ebeto so ma refi so be subscribe so dem di kaka kire do yentie mmrasisi a na kire wadwene enso e wo.
Thank you too.
For Mensia South, Nana Ejay Bafwewa has cautioned that if the current move to remove Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu is successful, it could set a dangerous precedent where judges could be easily removed over flimsy reasons. He argues that the circumstances under which the removal process has been initiated raises serious questions about the legitimacy of the petition. Let's now bring in former First Deputy Speaker of Parliament and private legal practitioner Joseph Osewusu for more perspective on this matter. Honorable Osewusu, thanks for joining us.
Thank you too for having me.
So, members of the MPP in Parliament have urged the President not to initiate any processes that could lead to the removal of the Chief Justice. But from a legal standpoint, does the President actually have a choice in the matter?
Well, I think that there are two perspectives here. The minority group is looking at the situation from a political perspective, which they're entitled to, which is a legitimate position to take. But I'm wondering if the president had a choice, if anybody brought a petition to him. The position, as prescribed by the Constitution and interpreted by the Supreme Court, is to determine whether there's a prima facie case. If there is, then the matter should proceed to the Council of State to form a committee and so on. The rest is well known. Frankly, I would wish that in the matters relating to the judiciary, I truly wish that we will have the courage to stand away as politicians and insist on the law. Just as the Chief Justice herself said, that it is the law I apply. Whether you change me or not, the law won't change. Yeah. My position is that now the process cannot be influenced by the President. But I will be very, very much surprised and disappointed if the content or the grounds as contained in the three petitions I've read, of course, are found to be corrected if those are not the genuine
petitions.
Basis.
Yeah.
Because social media is also a veritable source of misinformation. So I've read something, I've read a comment. But if that is truly the content, the basis for which the petitioners are asking that the Chief Justice be removed, I'll be very surprised, disappointed, and truly embarrassed if any committee will come to a conclusion that based on such petitions, the Chief Justice of Ghana will be removed.
Honourable, the MPP's concerns...
That is where the MPP's concern comes into play.
Yes, so they're saying that they fear that the process may be politically motivated or unfair. In your view, what steps can the President and the Council of State take to assure the public that this matter will be handled impartially and in accordance with the law?
Well, that's exactly the point I'm making, that we should not permit our political biases to influence the discussion. We should strictly hold on to it by law. The argument should be there's no legal basis based on the petition they are seeing. So, whether it is the President or the Council of State who wishes the law would not support any such move. It doesn't, in many ways, disagree with their position, but I would have wished that they are taking just a legal position so that we move away from a situation where our political biases influences the discussion. I want us to discuss the matter as lawyers. Would this be a basis for removing a Chief Justice? How serious can we be as a country if we truly encourage such things? So we hold anybody who is put on the committee, hold that person to a standard which would demonstrate that truly Ghana we believe in the independence of the judiciary.
Based on what is publicly known at this point, do you believe there are sufficient grounds for a prima facie case to be established?
I'm truly surprised, frankly, looking at what I've seen, and that I'm saying that it is entirely possible that what I'm speaking to, what I'm referring to, I've seen is not exactly the petition. But if it is, I'm already scandalized that anybody will find that any such thing is a basis for removing the Chief Justice. That he held me in contempt, and therefore he should be removed.
Yeah. The Constitution gives the President some discretion to suspend the Chief Justice once a prima facie case is determined. Are there any legal guidelines or constitutional principles that should guide such a decision?
I'm not aware of any. I'm not aware of any Chief Justice suspended because of a petition. I'm aware that some processes have already been gone through before, but in none of those cases was the Chief Justice suspended. I think it was Justice Akpa. I think that was when the Supreme Court ruled that a prima facie case should be made. And it did not get to a point where there was a need to even form the committee and, if necessary, suspend the Chief Justice. But I suggest that we should not encourage any such matters where the executive power is used, even if it is supported by the Council of State, to suspend a Chief Justice. We would have clearly undermined the independence of the judiciary.
Right. Honorable Osei, so let's turn our attention to internal party matters now. The NPP has constituted a committee to review its constitution. In your opinion, should this committee open up the process to receive public memoranda, or should it rely solely on the existing review support as the basis for its work?
I mean, public as in who? Which public? This is a party. Members. Our constitution
party members, Honorable.
Yes, our constitution guides how a review of the constitution itself may be made. I'm very confident that whichever committee that the party puts in place will be guided by the processes contained in the constitution itself.
All right. Yeah. And finally, what do you think are the key areas this Constitutional Review Committee should prioritize?
I think, for me, the most critical thing now is that in the end we should have some consensus on the way forward. The critical issue, if you ask me, is how to select our processes of selecting leaders. That is what has come up throughout the discussions I've heard so far. And I think we must somehow get to a consensus on how we should do that. And it doesn't matter how we get to that. Once we get to a consensus, we will use a consensus to build our party and move forward with it.
Honorable Osei, we're very grateful for your time.
Hi everyone, welcome to Chips and Chats, where we play, we have fun, and we talk about lifestyle. My name is Nikki Samonas, and I'll be driving you through.
The minority in Parliament have been in the news for a number of reasons, commenting on many issues, particularly the petitions that have been forwarded to the President for the removal of the Chief Justice. Of course, some of the minority MPs from the Ashanti region have also commented on the words used by the mayor of Kumasi, threatening to beat up errant traders who hawk on the streets. We're speaking to Bafo on that and other matters. Of course, the MPP itself received the Professor Mike Okwe committee report and set up a constitution review committee to look at aspects of the MPP's constitution. Lawyer Nana J. Bafo joins us to share some light on all of these matters. Thanks for joining us, Honorable Bafo. Good evening.
Welcome, Ababa, and thanks for having me. Good evening to you and your cherished listeners.
So the minority has been concerned about the moves to essentially oust the CJ based on 3 petitions. And I think the last we heard was your colleagues asking for chiefs and the clergy to get involved. How did we get here? Why do you think chiefs and clergy should get involved in this matter to impress upon the president? Because some would say the president is following the duly laid out process in Article 146.
Yes. I think that it's a bit of constraint in terms of the hearing. It's difficult to hear you.
Okay, so I wanted the minority's view on where we were with the CJ petition and all that's going on.
Thank you very much. We think that